Gita, Shloka 23, Adhyaya 8. Adhyaya 8, Shloka 23. Yatra kale tvanavrittim आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ. Regarding the possibility, what is this? After the death of an individual, we discussed 4 possibilities. Among them, in this context, Krishna does not discuss the first and the last possibilities. The first one is with respect to a jnani, and the last one is regarding one who does not follow dharma. Krishna does not discuss those 2 possibilities. Instead, he discusses second and third possibilities. The second one is a krama mukti, by going to Brahmaloka through a special course, a special trajectory known as Shuklagati. Whereas the third one is the journey to Swarga through a path called Krishnagati. In these 2 paths, when the jiva travels through these 2 paths after death, he is escorted by certain devatas. You can understand this with the help of a career service. How does the career service travel when you send a parcel? How it goes from one place to another place? First, someone receives it from you. Then he carries it to certain point. Then he hands it over to another agent. And then the second agent carries it to another point. For example, you are sending courier from a particular place in Bombay to another place in Bangalore. It has to come from Vileparle to Hebbal, Bangalore. In Mumbai, Vileparle. From there you are sending courier. So from your house, somebody collects and takes to the local office. One person carries. From there another person carries to the Mumbai main office. And from there another person carries it and flies down to Bangalore. It comes to Bangalore airport. And then from the airport somebody carries it to Bangalore main office. Another person. And from there it is carried to the local office near Hebbal by another person. And from there it is carried by the delivery agent, and he brings it to your friend's house and hands over. Likewise, when the jiva travels through either Shuklagati or Krishnagati, there are a few devatas who lead this jiva. There is a set of devatas. In fact, the path is defined by the group of the devatas. Generally, we describe a path with some landmarks. But the Shastra does not describe the path with the landmark. Instead, the path is described by mentioning the devatas who lead the jiva. These devatas are called Ativahika devatas. Ativahika devatas. Now, we have to understand one more point here. These Ativahika devatas leading the jiva through the particular path is not their only job. In the scheme of the universe, these devatas are assigned certain charges, certain responsibilities. If you look into our Shastra, every natural force is governed by a devata. For example, water is governed by Varuna Devata. Agni, the fire, is governed by Agni Devata. The physical fire is called Agni. But the physical fire, Agni, is governed by a devata. And the devata is also called Agni. Likewise, the devatas who are leading the jiva, they preside over certain aspects of the universe. And if you look into the list of the devatas, the majority of the devatas who perform the work of leading the jiva, their main function is to preside over certain units of time. There are various units of time like day, night, fortnight, paksha. Fortnight is called paksha. Masa, month, and ayana. Ayana means 6 months. Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. There are 6 months, two groups of 6 months. It is another unit of time. And then Samvatsara, 1 year. So there are many such units of time. All these units of time are presided over by certain devatas. For every unit of time also we have some devatas. For example, the daytime is presided over by some devata. Night time is also presided over by some devata. There is a particular devata. So there are some devatas who preside over certain units of time. Now, this path, the Shuklagati and Krishnagati, the devatas who lead the jiva in these two paths, majority of them preside over certain units of time. Majority of the devatas who function as Ativahika devatas are the devatas who preside over certain units of time. Because of this reason, the very path is called by another word in this shloka, Kala. Yatra kale tvanavrittim. Kala literally means time. Now, if one looks at this shloka superficially, one may think to go by Shuklagati, one should die at a particular time. Only if you die at a particular time, you will go by Shuklagati. This is a popular misconception. And this misconception is answered in Brahma Sutra, Adhyaya 4, Pada 2 of Brahma Sutra. There is a Rashmi Adhikaranam and Dakshinayana Adhikaranam. These Adhikaranas clarify our doubt. To go by Shuklagati, it is not mandatory that you should die at a particular time. Then what does this word Kala mean? The word Kala means the very path, Shukla Gati. Gati itself is called Kala. Therefore, do not translate Kala as a time here. Kala does not mean time. Kala means path. In this context. He Bharatarshava, see the shloka. He Bharatarshava. Krishna is addressing Arjuna. O hero among the descendants of Bharata. Arjuna is a hero among the descendants of Bharata. Therefore, he is called Bharatarshava. Bharatanam Rishabha. Rishabha literally means bull. The bull among the descendants of Bharata. This is the literal meaning of this word. It is an expression. So, bull is an expression in Sanskrit, implying that he is a great one among Bharatas. Yatra kale prayataha yoginaha. The yogis. Here, yogis should be understood as the upasakas. Those who do Ishvara upasana are called yogis in this context. In this particular line, the word yogi is used in many senses in Bhagavadgita. Here it means upasaka. In fact, literally, the word yogi means one who has focus. Yogaha asya astiti yogi. One who has focus of mind is called a yogi. Therefore, anybody who tries to focus, anybody who is committed to a particular sadhana can be called a yogi. Here it means an upasaka. Yatra kale prayataha. Traveling by which path, which kala, which path? Anavrittim yanti. They attain anavritti. Anavritti means freedom from return. Freedom from return to the world means moksha, implying kramamukti. Anavrittim yanti. They attain moksha, kramamukti. And yatra kale prayataha avrittim chaivayanti. And there has to be another path, traveling through which they attain avritti. Avritti means return. After going to Swarga, they will have to return. Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. When the punya is exhausted, they have to return to this world. So, yatra kale prayataha avrittim yanti tam kalam vakshyami. I will tell you that path, that kala means that path. If you look into translations, they might have mentioned it as time in many English translations. Therefore, we have to be careful. Shloka 24. Agnirjyotirah shuklaha षण्मासा उत्तरायणम् तत्र प्रयाता गच्छन्ति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मविदो जनाः This is a description of Shuklagati. Later on, Krishna will call it Shuklagati. Why it is called Shuklagati? Because there is a Shukla in this path. Agnirjyotirah shuklaha. Since Shukla is included in this path, it is called Shuklagati. Agnihi, Krishna describes the path with the devatas involved. So, initially it is Agni, the first devata is Agni. Agni refers to Agni Abhimani Devata, the Devata who presides over Agni. Agni Devata. So, initially, when the Jiva dies, when the Jiva leaves the body, the Jiva is accompanied by Agni Abhimani Devata. And this Devata takes the Jiva to some point in the course of journey and then hands over the Jiva to Jyotihi. Jyotihi is another Devata, the Devata who presides over light. And then Ahaha. Ahaha literally means day, daytime. Here it means Ahar Abhimanini Devata, the Devata who presides over daytime. And Shuklaha means Shuklapaksha Abhimanini Devata, the Devata who presides over Shukla Paksha, the bright fortnight, the 15 days when the moon grows, the 15 days leading to full moon day is called Shukla Paksha. And then this Shukla Paksha Abhimanini Devata hands over the Jiva to Shanmasa Uttarayanam, the Devata who presides over 6 months of Uttarayana. The 6 months when the sun is in the northern hemisphere of the earth. Tatra prayataha, the jivas who travel through this path. And who are they? Who qualifies to travel through this path? Brahmavido janaha, the Brahmavidaha janaha. Brahmavit, generally the word Brahmavit is used for a jnani, a Brahmajnani. But here it is not referring to a Brahmajnani. Brahmavit means Brahma Upasaka. Those who meditate on Saguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma Vidaha or Saguna Brahma Upasakaha. Brahmavidah janaha Brahma gachanti. They go by this path and they go to Brahmaloka. They reach Brahmaloka, and in Brahmaloka they get jnana, and then Brahma gachanti. They attain Brahma. They attain the Paramatma. They attain moksha. This is the way to Krama Mukti. Next shloka. Dhumo ratristatha Krishnaha. Shanmasa dakshinayanam. Tatra chandrama sanjyotihi. Yogi prapya nivartate. Now, Krishna is describing Krishna Gati. The previous one was Shukla Gati. Now he is describing Krishna Gati. Again, here there is a problem in translation. Shukla Gati, they will translate as bright path. Krishna Gati, dark path. It is not bright path or dark path. Don't get misled by the translations. Shuklagati, it is called Shuklagati because there is a Shukla in that path. Shukla Paksha Abhimanini Devata is there. It is the only reason why it is called Shuklagati. And this is called Krishna Gati because there is a Krishna. Means a Krishna Paksha Abhimanini Devata is involved. Not that it is a dark path. You are entering into a dark cave-like path. Not so. It doesn't mean that. Dhumaha. The Krishna Gati begins with the Dhumaha. Dhumaha means Dhuma Abhimanini Devata. The Devata who presides over the smoke. And then Ratrihi means Ratri Abhimanini Devata. Then Tatha Krishnaha, Krishna Paksha Abhimanini Devata. The Devata who presides over Krishna Paksha. The 15 days leading to new moon day. When the moon wanes decreases in size. Shanmasa Dakshinayanam, the Devata presiding over 6 months of Dakshinayana. The 6 months when the sun is closer to southern hemisphere. For astrologically speaking, just this is an incidental point. It does not have any connection with this particular verse. So, among Uttarayana and Dakshinayana, astrologically, for many events, for doing many type of work, Uttarayana is considered more auspicious than Dakshinayana. It is an astrological fact. For example, Upanayanam. When Upanayanam is done, it is done only in Uttarayana. Generally, it is done in Uttarayana only. So, why Uttarayana is more preferred? If you look into the globe, our country, Bharata, this Bharata Varsha, it is in the northern hemisphere, above the equator. Therefore, during Uttarayana, the sun is closer to us than when the sun is in Dakshinayana, when the sun is traveling in the southern hemisphere. Therefore, astrologically, Uttarayana is considered more auspicious. But it has nothing to do with this present discussion. Here we are not discussing the time Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. We are discussing the Devatas. These are the Devatas that form the Krishna Gati. Tatra yogi, tatra yogi, the yogi travels, another yogi. In the previous shloka also, it was a yogi, though the word yogi is not mentioned in the previous verse. Brahmavido janaha is mentioned, but in shloka 23 he was also called yogi. There yogi meant upasaka, but here yogi means a karma yogi, one who performs karma, the karma that are prescribed by the Shastra, yajna, dana, tapas, etc. So, yogi means karmi. He qualifies to travel by Krishna Gati. And where does he reach? Chandramasam jyotihi prapya. He reaches the Chandramasad jyotihi. Chandramasad jyotihi literally means the moonlight. He reaches the moonlight. Moonlight in this context stands for Swargaloka. He goes to Swarga. Swarga is called moonlight because it is pleasant like moonlight. This is a simple explanation. So he reaches a pleasant loka where he can enjoy lot of pleasure. And how long he stays? As long as his punya allows him to stay. By staying there, he exhausts his punya. Every minute of his stay there exhausts his punya. It is like 5-star hotel. For every hour you stay in a 5-star hotel, you get a bill. Very hefty bill. Likewise, even Swarga is very expensive. Not in terms of money, physical money, but in terms of punya. When the punya is exhausted, nivartate, he returns. Imam lokam heenataram va vishanti. Generally, he will return to this human world. He will be reborn as a human being. Sometimes even he may go to a lower janma also, directly from Swarga. Even that is possible. So why he goes to a lower loka? Because of his papa. See, even when he has done lot of punya and he qualifies to go to Swarga, it does not mean he does not have any papa. Even before accumulating that punya, he might have done many papas. Now, once the punya is exhausted, the papa which is already there earlier, which has been there waiting, it starts fructifying. That is why even after Swarga, he can return to human body and he can also go to even the lower lokas. Shloka 26. Shukla Krishne gati hyete Jagata shashvate mate ekayayatyanavrittim anyaya vartate punaha. These two gatis, Shukla Gati and Krishna Gati, they are Shashwata. Means they are permanent gatis. Why permanent? Because they have been there forever and they will be there in future also. These two gatis are not going to shut down. Ete Shukla Krishne Gati. These two are gatis of the Jagat. They are present in this Jagat, in the scheme of the universe, and they are Shashvate Mate. They are understood to be Shashvata, permanent. whether it is at the time of Ramayana or Mahabharata, in Treta Yuga or Krita Yuga or Dwapara Yuga, or whether it is in Kali Yuga, these two gatis are there. And those who do sadhana, particular type of sadhana, they can go by these two gatis, even today. Ekaya anavrittim yati, ekaya gatya, by one gati means a Shukla gati, anavrittim yati, one attains anavritti, freedom from return means moksha. Anyaya punaha avartate, if one travels through the other gati, one has to come once again. This is the difference between these two gatis. One leads to a permanent end, moksha, whereas the other gati keeps the individual within the domain of samsara. Shloka 27. Naite sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. A yogi, an upasaka, understands the difference between these two gatis. Therefore, an upasaka does not have a confusion which gati he would prefer. An upasaka does not have a confusion whether I should travel by Krishna gati and therefore qualify myself for Krishna gati so that I can go to Swarga, or should I go by Shukla gati, therefore do the sadhanas relevant to go by Shukla gati. An upasaka does not have such confusion. In other words, he does not prefer Krishna gati over Shukla gati. Therefore, he does not dream of going to Swarga at the cost of moksha. He is clear that he wants to get moksha. Therefore, he should qualify himself for Shukla gati. He Prtha, O Arjuna, ete sriti janan. Ete sriti. Sriti is another word for gati. Sritihi is synonymous to gati, a synonym of gati. Gati or sriti means same. Ete sriti janan, understanding these two gatis. Kaschana yogi, any yogi, any upasaka, na muhyati, does not get confused, does not get tempted to work for Swarga, or does not get tempted to enjoy this world. Instead, he works makes all effort to attain the Shuklagati. Therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna, O Arjuna, you should also make effort to travel by Shuklagati. And if you have to travel by Shuklagati, what should you do? Remain focused to Ishvara. Fix your mind in Ishvara always, so that you can remember Ishvara at the time of departure. Hey Arjuna, O Arjuna, this is a suggestion to Arjuna himself, a personal suggestion to Arjuna. Tasmat, therefore, Sarveshu Kaleshu, at all time. Here Kala means a time, not Gati. Yoga Yukto Bhava, be focused, be committed to Paramatma all the time. Do not change your priority. Be committed to Paramatma. Be devoted to Paramatma all the time. Shloka 28. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्. Bhagavan concludes the Adhyaya by stating the superiority of the Upasana over other types of karma. The Shastra enjoins various types of karmas. And these karmas can be summed up under 4 heads, 4 types. Number 1, Vedadhyayana, chanting of the Vedas, chanting of the Shastra or study of the Shastra. This is one type of karma, Vedadhyayanam. Number 2, Yajna. Yajna means worshipping the Devatas or worshipping the Ishvara through some physical rituals, physical or verbal rituals. And Dana, number 3, Dana, giving, charity, contribution. And number 4, Tapas, austerity. These are the four types of karmas. If one performs these karmas with the Ishwararpana buddhi, as an offering to Ishvara, one may get chitta shuddhi. It leads to purification of mind. But suppose you perform the karmas without offering them to Ishvara, they may not contribute much to chitta shuddhi. Then what do they give? They may lead to Krishna Gati. The karmas make us qualified for Krishna Gati and go to Swarga and return. It is the result of the karmas. But compared to that result, the result of the upasana, Ishvara upasana, is higher, much greater, because it leads to krama mukti. Therefore, Krishna says, Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu cha eva. In Veda, Veda means Vedadhyayana, one type of karma, and yajna, another karma, dana, daneshu, and tapassu, and tapas, austerities. Yat punya phalam pradishtam, the punya phala that is mentioned in the Shastra for these karmas. What is the punya phala? Going to Swargaloka. Yogi, but a yogi transcends those phalas. Idam viditva. Idam refers to the topic of chapter 8, means upasanam, Ishvara upasanam, viditva, understanding the importance of upasana and by performing the upasana. Yogi tat sarvam atyeti. Yogi transcends. Atyeti, goes beyond, surpasses the phala of karma. The karma phala is indeed great, but the phala of upasana is even greater than the phala of karma, because upasana leads to Paramatma himself in due course of time. Therefore, adyam param sthanam upaiti. A yogi, an upasaka, attains the ultimate goal, param sthanam, the ultimate goal, moksha, which is adyam. Adyam means it existed even before Srishti. Adau bhavam adyam, that which existed even during the Srishti. as the very cause of the universe, implying Paramatma. So he attains Paramatma, who is the ultimate goal. Therefore, it is worth devoting time for upasana. It is worth spending time thinking of Ishvara, meditating on Ishvara, praying to Ishvara, because it is a way to moksha. It opens up the way to moksha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.